Now, coming to you, now let's first talk about and let's take a look at the charts here. And before again I go to Ashish, let me go first to Jay. Jay, what's the word on large cap IT? If you want to pick out any call, what should be that call?
It should definitely be TCS, Piyush. Basically, I've been saying that every for some time now that whenever TCS crosses 2100, it's probably heading for 2600. And given where the Nifty IT index is and as well as TCS is, I think it's got a very strong potential for touching 2600. And given that a weakness in strength in Brent is going to possibly cause further weakness in the rupee, I think it's also a beneficiary of a weaker rupee. So I think there's a price breakout as well as there's a macro tailwind for IT stocks, and TCS is the one that's been a laggard and it's come out of important resistance. So watch out. If you are to pick up something, it has to be TCS, but hold the stop below last week's low.
That's with regards to where the IT space is concerned. Let's pull up Jet Airways, Indigo, as well as SpiceJet as well. There could be pressure in terms of SpiceJet on the bidders that could have backed out what reports are suggesting. Pretty much unchanged right now. But on the back of the aviation data, which is at a 20-quarter low, there could be pressure on that front. A pretty flattish move seen on that front. SL Propack, we've already seen GAIL has emerged as the highest bidder for IL&FS wind energy assets as well. Let's pull up a GAIL and see what a GAIL is doing in trade as we speak, because that's going to be one of the important stories that we will be tracking. 2.5% downtick coming on that one. Maruti Suzuki as well. On the back of change in leadership that has been announced, you have a 0.5% up move coming in with regards to Maruti, as well as a Lupin, where a Morgan Stanley has gone ahead and upgraded the stock to an overweight from an equal weight. 0.5% up move coming in with regards to Lupin as well. But clearly, a couple of other counters in terms of earnings. You have AU Small Finance Bank, a good set of numbers that have been reported. Lux Industries as well as Swaraj Engines, both of them a weak set of numbers that have been reported. There could be pressure in terms of both these stocks as well. Lux is still indicating a 1.5% up move, as well as if you see in terms of where Swaraj Engines is concerned, a weak set of numbers that have been reported by that company as well. Let's see what the charts are indicating. A pretty much unchanged move on that front. But Ashish, let me come to you with regards to OMCs as well as paint companies. Now, British, I guess, did have a sell call in terms of Berger Paint. There could be pressure in terms of OMCs as well as paint companies as well on the way crude has been panning out. Do you think this is a time to sell any of these counters?
See, I think there could be some drop in the oil marketing companies, and I think if I have to take a short call, then I think clear preference would be towards oil marketing companies rather than paints companies. So I think if you look at BPCL, it has broken an important weekly support below 347. I think one should keep 347 as an trading stop loss for going short in BPCL. On downside, I'm expecting stock to hit 322 to 323 zone. As far as paint companies are concerned, I think if there is a drop in Asian Paint towards 1410, 1400 kind of zone, that would be a good area to initiate a long position. So I think there is a contra view within the paints companies, but definitely oil marketing companies are looking quite weak.
Right, so OMCs are looking weak, that's the word coming. But let's look at all the calls which our guests have given. Brijesh calls, DCB Bank, IndusInd Bank. Again, DCB Bank is a buy, IndusInd Bank, Berger Paints is a sell. Let's look at how the stocks are opening up. 0.5% up coming there. IndusInd Bank, Berger Paints also. Berger we have already seen again, so rates are yet to come by for IndusInd. And then also bring Berger's, again that's 0.5% down. Let's also quickly take a look at KC International, Adani Gas. Adani Gas also again did well yesterday. So let's look at how the stocks are doing today. KC starting with soft buyers, bring Adani Gas also. That's another one again coming from Jay. So that's showing a positive uptick. Two more, and then we'll go to Dharmesh. UPL and ITC. Let's show both the stocks. Those are two buy calls coming from Ashish. Let's see again how's the bias looking. Rates are yet to come by for UPL and ITC also. Let's look at that stock, FMCG pack and tobacco pack again. So mild positive bias again. Those are all the calls. Let's keep track of them once the market opens. But now for now, let me welcome Dharmesh Kant, the head of retail research, IndiaNivesh. Dharmesh, good morning and welcome. Now, first question to you: what do you make out of the current weakness in the financial stocks? In fact, it was very heavy selling in the housing finance space. We saw again profit booking happening in the private banks, also PSU banks. Why the sentiment has changed suddenly from last week, and what do you attribute the selling to, and perhaps what's your stance right now on the valuations, and if there's any sort of stock which you like?
Yeah, good morning. As you rightly, put it, it's like a profit booking kind of activity which has happened. And see, at current levels where the market is and where the stock prices are trading, it's very difficult to find quality buyers and meaningful investors right now, because everybody is sitting on the sidelines and they are watching how the elections may pan out, particularly the voting phase. So any dip in the polling percentage or the voting percentage which is there is not taken it's a negative for the ruling party. So that is how it is being perceived, but that has to do with, so next 1 month till the time we are out with the elections outcome, this kind of a volatility will be there. Macro headwinds have again started to worry, be it crude oil prices or the currency depreciation. So things are looking a bit jittery as of now. Meanwhile, as far as the numbers are being reported by private banks, they have been very good. Excellent set of numbers are there, and that shows the underlying strength of BFSI segment in particular. And I do hope that even the PSU banks will come out with good set of numbers. So we are advising our clients to right now to sit on the sidelines and watch the markets stabilize, and staggered manner kind of approach on the private sector banks continue to be there. So the top pick again is Yes Bank has corrected significantly, though they have not reported numbers, but we are expecting a good set of numbers. So that remains good buy. RBL is second in the line, followed by HDFC Bank. So Yes Bank number one, RBL and HDFC Bank we are recommending our clients to buy. So but we are overall net bullish on the market.
Net bullish on the market. A quick word on the news reports about Piramal Enterprise thinking about selling stakes in Shriram Group stocks. What do you make out of that, and what sort of investment thesis investors should really be again thinking about, whether they belong to Piramal Enterprise or they are investors into Shriram Group stocks, what this could be leading to?
So this is to me?
Yes, Dharmesh, it's to you.
Yeah. See, the Piramal Enterprises, one has to go with that on the management and see, they are the ones who have been taking the call going forward. They will be taking the call. So my own sense is right now it's more a time to be, a very focused kind of BFSI buying, be it NBFC space or a private sector space or PSU bank. You cannot go on take a call on the management who is still trying to find out different areas of exploring the BFSI segment. So I would stay away from Piramal Enterprises and Shriram both from my investment perspective. So rather I would stick to choose a name who have a very focused kind of approach in the present scenario. So there the standouts are, the private sector banks name I have already taken. In the public sector space it would be SBI and Indian Bank, and BFSI Bajaj Finance, if it corrects, it's a very good bet out there. And housing finance, you have Canfin Homes and LIC Housing Finance. These are the areas where we are focusing. And Piramal Enterprises, for me, it's an avoid as of now.
What in terms of Piramal Enterprises, you have a couple of financials that will be in focus. Lakshmi Vilas Bank in pre-open is indicating a move of around 3%. Apart from that, you have AU Small Finance Bank as well, which is up almost 2% in pre-open. ICICI Lombard is showing you a good move in today's day of trade as well. Jaya, let me come to you. Lakshmi Vilas Bank, you have AU Small Finance Bank and an ICICI Lombard.
See, I've been saying for some time that ICICI Lombard is one of the best in the insurance space, but it's been going up for some time now, so the risk reward are diminishing now. So I would think that at current levels, if you are already holding, then hold on to it. But creating fresh positions is not that great a strategy. But when it comes to Lakshmi Vilas Bank, it's had a great run from the level of about 55 to all the way to 97, and it's been pulling back from there. So it's had one leg of the move, so it needs to correct this entire move. Probably, I don't know if it's going to come to 70, but if it does come to 70, that will be a good re-entry point for people who missed out when it was trading at about 55. But I think there is still residual correction left in Lakshmi Vilas Bank. But I think on the higher time frame, there is still some more upside left. So wait for a correction to get in.
wait for a correction to get in terms of Lakshmi Vilas Bank goes. ICICI Lombard, that looks interesting from the entire insurance pack as well, as Jay was mentioning. But let's pull up Bank Nifty as well. It's indicating a 74 points up move as we speak. With regards to Nifty 50 as well, above the 11,600 mark is what pre-open is indicating. We're just 20 seconds away. Bharti Airtel, Z Entertainment, Aisha Motors, JSW Steel, Wipro, Bharti Infratel as well as ICICI Bank. These counters are indicating an up move in terms of pre-open. However, there is good pressure building in on a GAIL. That's going to be an interesting counter on the back of the emerging bidder in terms of ILNFS's wind assets. Let's see how the markets also take that one. But let's see what now opening rates are indicating. Overall 11,612. We are opening at levels of around 11,600 in terms of Nifty 50. In terms of Bank Nifty as well, a 45 to 50, 60 points up move coming in terms of Bank Nifty as well as we speak. 29,746 is the level that we are tracking. Jet Airways has seen a recovery and a rebound in today's session after the 2 consecutive sessions of fall that we've seen in terms of Jet Airways. Let's pull up that one on the screen. 7 to 8%. I think the markets are really taking all the news and speculation on the screens right now, as well as let's pull up the other counters as well. We have Z Entertainment, Bharti Airtel, IndusInd Bank, Bharti Infratel, Dr. Reddy's. These are the ones which are on an up move as we speak. But in terms of broader markets, let's pull up all the 34 counters which are actually out of, which will be out of FNO as well, because that's going to be an interesting space. You have Ajanta Pharma that will be out, CH that will be out as well. Jet Airways, that's another one to focus on that will be out of FNO. Allahabad Bank, BEML, Canfin Homes, CG Power, Chennai Petroleum, DCB Bank, Godfrey Phillip, Godrej Industries, that's going to be an interesting one. IDFC, IFCI, Jet Airways, as we mentioned, is out of FNO as well from June onwards. Jain Irrigation, Kaveri Seeds, Repco Homes, OBC, South Indian Bank, Suzlon Energy, as well as Karnataka Bank. These are counters that will be out of FNO as well. So we will be focusing on this one. And Jet Airways, Piyush, 5% up move on that one. And clearly, I think all eyes will be on the cement pack as well on the back of earnings, ACC, Ultratech, as well as you have OMCs and paint counters as well.
Absolutely, and this also explains the reason why there was such a sudden and sharp sort of short covering which happened yesterday. And that tells you perhaps again the street was smelling this again. The stock is the stock will be coming out of FNO from the next series, and that's why again the short sellers will not like to hold their positions for long. So perhaps there could be more upside again coming. There's going to be a short squeeze because the stock will no longer be in the FNO list again from the next series here.
Piyush, any reason why GAIL is reacting negatively 2.5% lower on the back of emerging the bidder with regards to ILNFS wind assets?
For us, I think it's more about valuation, but largely if you are going to see the energy stocks, they actually will be trending lower, and they normally move in tandem. When there is sharp selling OMC stocks, there is also sort of on a sort of weakish day, the gas stocks they start following up on OMC stocks. On a normal trending day, the gas stocks they chart their own course, but again that sort of trade could also just start happening there also. But 2 stocks as right there on your screen, Biocon, the bonus is going to be considered in the board meeting, still 2 days away. And also, as we actually are looking at present, Maruti is also in the action as we have the new sales head appointment coming in. A bit of mild positivity coming there for the stocks, but Lind India almost 6% up in the opening. And on the large caps, what we should be now looking at in the context of derivatives before we go back to our guests and ask their calls, we actually are seeing some good positive in Lupin, where there is good positive brokerage commentary which has come up. The stock is up almost 3%. And the vote has come for 1100 target again, so it's looking good for the stock. 1% addition in the open interest on the long side. You actually also are seeing some good positivity in Indabul's real estate. There is also very large open interest unwinding which is happening again for Just Dial, but the stock is up at present. Also there's a bit of positivity in Bharti Airtel, 8% addition in the open interest already. The stock is up 1%, long build up happening there. That's Lupin again, Lind India again, all the breaking stocks, big movers at present right on your screen. Tejas Networks also strong reception to a large increase in margins, almost 7% up is where the stock is. So again that's a good reception to the earnings at present. And
the VIX is up 5.5%.
Another 5%.
25.3. What is this indicating now?
I think it's indicating 25 was something which we should have expected during the election season, but from here the more it goes up, I think the more is going to create uncertainty for the option traders here. because I think 25 is something which I think the option traders were preparing for, and that's why again there was a large addition again for the recovery today. Now from here, what you're going to do, I think, so perhaps that this is going to be interesting. And now let's take some calls around the sort of strategy also. Coming to you, Brijesh, what's the word at present on two stocks? Number one, Lupin, and second is how's Bharti Airtel looking to you?
When you've been talking, I have been looking to the chart of the Lupin from 721 odd level. It was a one-way rally, and after that we have seen a profit booking. And the recent swing low of 820, somewhere around 822, the stock has again started moving up. So someone wants to play for a long side on a Lupin, one can look out to buy at the present of 856 or somewhere around 850 with keeping a stop loss of 822 and play for the target of 885 to 890 and closing above 890, then another say 28 to 30 rupee rally can be seen. Regarding the Bharti Airtel has been concerned, 324 the stock has been quoting around. So present rate or any dip somewhere around, it's a risk reward ratio has been concerned. If it trades somewhere around 320 or 321, one can take a buy call in it with a strict stop loss of 318 and play for the target of 330 zone.
That's with regards to Bharti Airtel as well as Lupin as well. Let's apart from that see a Z Entertainment 2.5% up move coming in today's day of trade. With that you have good moves coming in terms of Cipla, Yes Bank, Hero Moto, Indocin as well as ONGC. In fact, Ashish, let me come to you. Your take in terms of Z Entertainment.
So see, I think some base has been created at least in a shorter term time frame around this 400 odd levels, and I think there can be a good pullback rally from current levels in Z. One can keep 398 as a trading stop loss. I'm expecting stock to hit 424, 428 kind of zone in next couple of few trading sessions.
Ashish, a quick view on Tejas Networks also. It's a result reaction. We know that large margin increase in the results that again gives the confidence again to the investors. The stock is already up 9%. Flip the chart into a 6-month chart. Let's see again, this is a sort of a one-off move after the results, or the stock has been again showing some recovery before that also. That's a 6-month chart for you. 23% decline from the lows, roughly around 120, 130. Again, the stock has made a good rebound, now 200, but still off from the high in the last 6 months. Ashish, is the chart looking credible enough?
See, from the lows it is already double, but if you look at from all-time high zone, which is around 470, the stock is still 55-60% down. There's a good recovery from lower levels, and I think good volumes have been created in last 2-3 weeks. So I think at least in a shorter term time frame, a move towards 230 to 28 is possible, which indicates at least 15 to 17% kind of upside from current levels. Keeping that in mind, I think one should keep 194 as an short-term trading stop loss, but positionally I think 185, 186 is a strong base for the stock. So keep these two levels on downside as an important support zone, but definitely in a short to medium term there can be a good 15 to 18% kind of upside from these levels.
Right. Very interestingly, Bank Nifty is up almost around 200 points right now. Let me come to you, Jay. Do you think this is something which is going to be sustainable? And if yes, do we see the day ending with a positive bias?
See, basically, those corrections are three-step process. So we had one step of decline. Possibly this could be the second leg of the bounces. It's very difficult to trade corrections. So that's that's the reason why I'm focusing on the higher term time frame. There are multiple pattern potential, and none of them have a higher weighting than the other. Everything is equally poised. So I would preempt this thing calling as a reversal of the end of the correction. You might want to see at least a single day of positive close with increase in volume, and shorters covering the positions in the open in the options market. So you got to be with the higher time frame trend. Be that use any dip as a buying opportunity, because the move from the lows to the highs that we have seen, to the record highs, looks still incomplete. So from a slightly higher time frame, we are looking at 12,400, which has been the target for several months now. But the extreme short term, we can't quibble with the market. Whatever it's giving, you got to take it.
Okay, so that's the word coming. Some positive returning for Jay, but one word, Dharmesh, let's talk about GAIL. What's happening here? 12% addition in the open interest. It's on the short side, and that's GAIL. For you, trading at days low, volumes are looking very good. 9 lakh shares again at present already traded 3% down. Dharmesh, GAIL has emerged as the highest bidder for wind assets. What do you think? What is market concerned about? is the concern that why a gas pipeline company is going for wind assets? It should have been NTPC or at least Power Grid again. Is that sort of concern, or the sort of valuation price paid for the assets the concern? Why the stock is falling?
I think all put together, because it's a pure gas transmission kind of a play, and as you rightly put it out, why going into a wind power? Wind power anyways has not been a very practical solution to renewable energy kind of a concept or a clean energy. It's and they have not been the per unit cost is too high. They are trying to manage it, but I don't think it will be solar which will take precedence over any form of alternate or a clean energy concept. So my own sense is this should not be a good investment, and why they are doing so is I am puzzled and bewildered on this fact why GAIL needs to go into a wind power energy kind of a thing. So valuation is another thing as of now, but this diversification is not warranted. So this is why investors are punishing the counter. Having said that, but GAIL itself in its own foray, it's a very strong play on the gas transmission business, and this is what is going to be the future for the clean energy. So if it corrects more, I mean 2 or 5% more kind of a correction is there, then it's a very good buy. So from a long term perspective, one wants to hold this counter for say at least a year. I think 2-5% more from here should be a good buying opportunity, expecting around 15 to 20% return in a year's time.
Right, that's the word coming, and at present I think the market is really doubting what it does again on the return on equity also, again if these assets again are being bought by GAIL. So that's a doubt, and that's why the stock again is seeing a beating here, almost 4% down, and there is a heavy short build up. Again, it doesn't look like the stock perhaps could be stopping here, because the open interest accumulation is looking really solid at present on the short side. But apart from there, keep track on Lupin. We just took a couple of minutes back the buy call coming on the stock and from our guest again, and that's Lupin for you, trading at day's high, now 4% up. The stock is accumulating open interest also, good long build up happening there. Now coming back to you, Ashish, any call, any stock you want to talk about?
See, I think, you were discussing about Lupin, that is looking quite promising. Even I think if you look at Aurobindo Pharma has formed a good base around 776. So I think there could be a good trading opportunity till 810 kind of, zone as a short term target in Aurobindo Pharma. We discussed about Z, so that's also showing a good traction. It is adding a lot of open interest addition, and I think good recovery is on card. So maybe 424 is a short term target one can expect in, Z Entertainment. And in the private sector banks, I think DCB Bank has seen 4.5% OI jump in the morning session itself, and stock is trading at its all-time high zone. So here one can expect a decent recovery. 204 should be kept as a trading stop loss. 218, 220 could be a short-term target in DCB Bank.
I think Bank Nifty is the one where actually the entire focus should be now.
Correct.
It's a strong recovery. Yesterday we saw sort of knee-jerk selling which was happening in the Bank Nifty. Now that's Bank Nifty for you. Now draw a sort of 5-day chart here. Let's see again how Bank Nifty has done. So yesterday's fall was very big, almost a 550 point plus fall. Today what we are seeing, look at that curve here. This is all yesterday, and today again, now let's flip this again back to today's chart here. It's almost 0.7% up, and it's a very solid market breadth across the constituents. You're talking about HDFC Bank almost 0.8% up, Yes Bank 2% up, IndusInd, PNB, RBL, ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, all are figuring in the gainers list here. And this tells us I think we should take a call on Bank Nifty now. Is it looking credible enough? Coming to you, Brajesh, what's the word on Bank Nifty?
See, as I have said, the Bank Nifty had a support at 29,500 zone, and right now it has bounced at the recent point, taking a spot value 29,900 would be the resistance zone. But anyhow, if we are able to cross, then the important resistance zone would be excuse me, important resistance zone would be 30,100 to 30,150. So this band has to be crossed. Otherwise, again, we would be seeing a Bank Nifty consolidating somewhere around 29,500 or say 29,600 on downside, followed by 30,100 on the higher side.
Right, that's with regards to Bank Nifty as well. Piyush was just highlighting right now as well. That's up in trade. Z Entertainment, 3.5% to 4% up move coming on that one as well. In fact, there are reports also suggesting that they have 5 companies from Japan, Europe, US, and India who are, eyeing a stake as well. That was the commentary that we last heard from Subhash Chandra as well. So let's see what happens on that one. There you go, 5% up move coming in terms of Z Entertainment. Jay, a very quick call in terms of Z Entertainment. Do you think, medium to long term charts are looking strong?
It's a very difficult chart. It's been going to areas it shouldn't have printed. For example, it shouldn't have printed 399 after touching 489. It did that and it's still bouncing. So it makes it a bit difficult. So keep it as a extreme short-term call, and I would think that it's probably got potential to bounce somewhere close to 445 from a 1 to 2 day time frame.
Okay, that's the word. In fact, the stock is now 5% up. There is definitely a move happening, and as you just talked about. But what is happening is very interesting at present in the markets. When you look at the Asian currency market, you actually are seeing now Asian currencies basically have slightly recovered. The currencies are flat from sort of marginal falls, and that's why again the rupee is up, but the rupee is definitely outperforming. So we are basically bucking the trend in the Asian market. Currency is strong, whereas it is flattish to negative bias for the Asia. On the future side, again, the Asian markets have shown slight recovery on the equity indices, but still we are up by a much larger margin, and definitely financials are outperforming. So for us, we are charting our own course. Again, this is very different with what actually we are observing for the Asian markets here. So that's one sort of observation. But on a closing basis, Ashish, any stock, any update you want to share?
Yeah, so I think, as we discussed about Z, that is showing a good traction. Apart from that, we discussed about pharma, so that is one basket which is gaining some traction in today's trading session. So I think a lot of names could show interesting up in the pharma, but we like Oro Pharma for a very short term uptick. In the technology basket, I think L&T Technology Services is one stock which has formed a good base around 1660. So I think this could be a good short to medium term, positive. 1750, 1760 could be a short-term target one can expect in L&T Technology Services, but in next 3 to 4 months time frame, I'm expecting stock to cross 1950 to 2000 kind of zone. So L&T Technology Services looks quite promising at these levels.
L&T Tech Services quite promising at these levels as well. Z Entertainment, let's pull up that one again on the screens as well. A 6% up move coming on this counter at the day's highest levels. Once again, Brijesh, what is your target price in terms of Z Entertainment?
See, Z Entertainment, no doubt the stock had a volatile session, but anyhow, if it has been able to cross a level of 422, one can take a fresh buy call in it with a strict stop loss of 405 and play for the target of 445 to 450. Chances are that this time the stock might try to touch 470 also.
Okay, so positive words are coming on Z. In fact, Ashish also again had a 424 target on the stock. So again, we have taken views from all our guests on the stock, and this stock again is definitely some good sort of chart again for itself. Markets again are holding almost at 0.5% for Bank Nifty, mid cap, small caps. A positive sort of development happening for them also, but still recovery is more pronounced in the financial stocks at present. Last, on a closing basis, Dharmesh, any stock idea you want to share?
Yeah, apart from sector-wise, BFSI looks very good, and ONGC I think is a good value buy at current levels because this quarter earnings would be a good one. They are very cheaply valued as of now, trading at 7 times 1 year forward PE multiple, ROE more than 14%, and the next quarter, I mean Q1 of FY20 should also be a very strong for ONGC because crude prices have gone up one. Second is, this is election time, so lot of, oil consumption goes up during election quarter. So, to my mind, I mean 15-20% kind of a movement should be there in the ONGC. And pharma is a sector which one should be acclimating in FY20. 21 you will see the good results coming out. So, these are the spaces where we are focusing on as of now.
Right, so those are our top bets coming in from Dharmesh Kant as well. The auto pack very lastly is on a firm footing as well over the last couple of trading sessions. Piyush was just highlighting a TVS Motors is showing you a sharp uptrend from the two-wheeler pack. You have Hero Motor as well, which is up almost 0.9%, but a smart surge coming in terms of TVS Motors. Let's pull up a Bajaj Auto also on the screens and see what a Bajaj Auto is doing in trade. TVS clearly a 2% up move on that one. Bajaj Auto 0.5% up move coming in there. Ashish, very quickly your view in terms of any of the two-wheeler pack and especially a TVS Motors?
I think TVS is showing a very strong bounce, and if you look at the kind of OI build-up we have observed from 480 to 520 zone, that's quite good. So I think on a weekly chart, there's a possibility of a move towards 535, 538 kind of zone, and there's a fresh breakout which has happened on a weekly chart around 512. So keep 512 as a trading stop loss, 538 as a short-term target in TVS Motors.
Okay, that's the word at present. Now let's move to the break, but before that, thanks a lot, gentlemen, for all the calls. Ashish, Jay, Brajesh, Dharmesh, for all the strategies on the market and the stocks. We'll move into the break, but stay tuned, as after the break, we'll connect with Rajesh Ravi.